The hectic streets of Manhattan, pretty much then like they are now, minus the smartphones. And Trump Tower, Fifth Avenue, from way up there, Donald J. Trump watched the terror unfold on September 11th, 2001.
Well, I was in my apartment watching television, but if you look out this window, the World Trade Center covered each side of the Empire State Building, and now it's gone. And it's such a weird feeling not seeing it, because for many years I've been looking out this window and I've seen the World Trade Center, and now you don't see it anymore.
Somebody hit the World Trade Center or the
Trade Center.
The World Trade Center.
This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning
that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center.
It was the worst attack in the history of this country. It was worse than Pearl Harbor because these were defenseless people. And it was just the worst thing that's happened to this country in terms of attack by far.
Today, we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center.
This was 2002, a year after 9/11, pre-The Apprentice.
You're fired. Go.
Pre-presidency, but Donald Trump already had a big rep in the Big Apple for talking it up.
You have said that if you ran for president, you'd win.
I think I'd have a very good chance. I mean, I like to win. When I do something, I like to win. I like to do well, and I think I probably would have a pretty good chance.
I guess in every way, you epitomize New York. You are Mr. New York. Did you feel that the attacks of 9/11 were an attack on you?
I thought that the attacks on 9/11 were really an attack. They were really attacks on the free world. They weren't attacks on New York, they were attacks on the free world. We took the hit for everybody else, and it was a terrible hit.
Before the presidency, Trump's stories about 9/11 pretty much passed at face value.
Your own personal experience? I believe you ran into danger yourself.
Well, we thought a building was coming down on top of us because it was the first day, and people didn't know were those buildings standing or not. And one of the buildings started to move and shake. And we all ran, and it was amazing. These firemen, they were just running and grabbing me and running. I'm saying, what's wrong, what's going on here? And they thought a building was going to come down, and a piece of it came down, but fortunately it was able to stay up. So it was a whole different world for me.
But nothing compared with what was to come. Against all odds, he was sworn in as president in 2016. And those 9/11 stories, like the one he told me, well, they came under the spotlight.
He was not down there right after the event. He did not help. He did not hear any creaking building. What he did do after 9/11 was lie about contributing to charitable funds for the victims of 9/11. And Donald Trump told his worst lie about 9/11.
And I watched the second plane come in parts of New Jersey, Jersey City, but parts of New Jersey. I saw people getting together and in fairly large numbers celebrating as the World Trade Center was coming down.
It was a wild and norm-shattering 4-year presidency.
I have President Putin. He just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
And Trump said this about white supremacists at Charlottesville.
You look at both sides, I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either.
According to independent fact-checkers, President Trump made 30,473 false or misleading claims while in office.
And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do, either through the skin or in some other way. I see the disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute.
From potential COVID cures to controversy, the 4-year Trump show was relentless.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals.
What I say is what I say.
It just kept on coming.
I'm very consistent.
I'm a very stable genius.
Before politics and after, it was the hair, that famous gravity-defying do that was impossible to miss.
Come here. Would anybody like to inspect? Together, we will make America great again.
And grassroots Republicans loved him for it, still do. Trump and MAGA, the America First movement, completely took over the grand old Republican Party, shamelessly repeating the big lie that they were robbed in the 2020 election.
They cheated and they rigged our presidential election, but we will still win it.
They didn't win, they lost, but couldn't accept it.
The most significant breach of the Capitol since the War of 1812.
Twitter has permanently suspended President Trump's account.
The President of the United States incited this insurrection.
Take it now!
Despite that, despite 2 impeachments and 2 acquittals,
Our great country and your president have been put through a terrible ordeal.
despite sex abuse allegations,
we have breaking news. Stormy Daniels is expected to take the stand today in the criminal hush money trial against former President Trump.
and being the first ever president to have a conviction for falsifying business records after a lurid trial featuring a porn star, Donald Trump has withstood it all.
These are actual phrases that were used in court today. Human toilet, orange turd, and make America horny again.
But Teflon Don danced away from all of it, mounting one of the greatest comebacks in US political history,
If you
while nearly being assassinated in the process. When we spoke in 2002, the Kiwi connection was golf.
Because you really have some good golfers from New Zealand. Bob Charles is
On
the
what
best.
was the first anniversary of 9/11, New Yorkers were still breathless about what had happened in their city and the heroic efforts to restore normality.
They had trucks going 24 hours around the clock. They had bridges designated. I've never seen anything like it. But it took 24, I mean, I've never seen anything like it, for thousands of workers to get together over a 24-hour period and clean up this huge heap of stuff strewn sadly with bodies and everything. And they did it in 7 months. So it was a miracle. I mean, there's never been anything like it.
And what about you personally? Was your confidence shaken? Were you concerned about the future of skyscrapers?
Well, I think the impact is you probably don't go as high now. The world is a different place.
The world and Ground Zero, where the Twin Towers once stood. It's now a solemn place of remembrance. The names of the 3,000 dead etched around the perimeters, along with the echoes of that fateful day. I was here shortly after those Al-Qaeda attacks, when the place was just rubble, smoke and despair. To be back after so many years, it's deeply moving. Few events have so defined modern American history quite like 9/11, and few people have defined it quite like Donald Trump.
This American carnage stops right here and stops right now.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
The 45th President of the United States, and quite possibly the next as well. Who would have guessed when we met? Back then, his vision came over as, well, less doom-laden.
And where to now for Donald Trump? Onwards, upwards? There's no end to this?
We're having a lot of fun doing other things and doing wonderful buildings in New York. We're starting a new one on 59th and Park. I mean, we do great work. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good luck.
Cheers.
Good luck.